Hi, Toby. We're delighted to have you here. It's been a while since we saw each other, so it's really good to catch up just before our upcoming North American Gas Forum.
Yeah, good to see you again, Monica. And I am super excited about this event.
Fantastic. We are super excited as well. Well, let's start off by maybe just tell us what has stood out so far this year. What are you're keeping very busy, but what are some highlights?
Yeah, I will tell you one of the biggest focuses has been on a specific attribute of energy. Every day at EQT, we've got our over 1,500 employees focused on making the energy we produce cheaper, more reliable, and cleaner. I think we step back, we look at this industry, we've made our energy more cost effective. Americans, fortunately, benefit from paying the lowest energy prices in the world. We've done a lot of work these past few years on making the energy we produce cleaner. You look at the progress the natural gas industry has made on methane emissions. You look at what EQT has done, becoming the first natural gas company of scale to achieve net zero for scope 1 and 2 emissions. Great progress on the cost effectiveness and the clean carbon footprint of the energy we produce. But there is a big focus now on the third attribute, which is the reliability of the energy that we produce. And reliability for me really just means making sure that we're delivering our energy to the market when the market needs it. And when you look at the demand forecast that's set up, it's a great opportunity for us to focus on making sure we can reliably supply these growing markets in front of us.
Demand is a good way segue in maybe to another question. You can't talk about natural gas and energy overall without talking about how much demand growth is forecasted from LNG, from AI, from data centers. You've been pretty vocal about all of those things. In parallel, EQT, of course, has also been building a lot of momentum around LNG. You've been in a lot of the agreements that were signed recently. How do you plan for that demand surge from all of those different sources? And how does EQT think about playing a role in that going currently, of course, but also going forward?
Yeah, so there's a few different themes that are taking place. I think the first step is just sort of quantifying what we're seeing. These three themes, we know the continued evolution of our energy systems, that for natural gas, that has largely been coal to gas switching. We think that there's probably 15 BCF a day of more coal to gas switching opportunities available. I think you look at what the administration has done by keeping these coal plants online, and maybe that had delayed some of these opportunities for natural gas, but totally understand given the state of the grid and the reliability concerns that this country is facing. But that's okay because we've got two other major themes that are taking place: providing energy security to the world, a tremendous growth engine for Americans, and also providing an energy security blanket for Americans. I'm talking specifically about our LNG exports. We see that growing to 30 BCF a day. Currently, we're exporting about 18 BCF a day. By 2030, that's a big opportunity, providing energy security to our allies around the world. And then the third thing, which is what everybody's talking about now, is the AI build out. We see that estimates for the power demand for the AI build out being anywhere from 50 to, I mean, I've seen estimates as high as 150 gigawatts. Let's just use what Chris Wright has said. He said we need to build 100 gigawatts of power generation to meet this AI demand. And just to put that in perspective, Monica, that is the energy equivalent to providing enough electric infrastructure to power 20 New York cities. I mean, these are major league in scale from industrial perspective. So what is EQT doing about this? I mean, I think when it comes to on the LNG front, I think it's really important for us to continue to showcase why American LNG is the key to energy security for our allies around the world. We see this message being echoed by a lot of leaders, specifically on the European front. We need to make sure that they know that we are there to support their energy transition needs as they transition away from Russian energy to American energy. And we also can't forget about the environmental impacts of Unleash US LNG, which we believe is the biggest green initiative on the planet. On the AI side of things, as America's natural gas champion, our role in this ecosystem is to make sure that our tech companies have all the energy they need so they can run full throttle to win this AI race. And this is something that's incredibly concerning to us. When we look at what it's going to take to win the AI race, it's not going to be about the models. It's not going to be about the apps. It's not going to be about getting chips. It's going to be about one thing: how fast can you get power generation built? And when you look at this country and what we've done in the last 24 months, or sorry, in the last 24 months, the US has added about 4 gigawatts of reliable power generation. Okay. Actually, it's been about 6 gigawatts of reliable power generation. Compare that to our biggest competitor, China. And you look at what they've done just in the last 12 months, they've added over 60 gigawatts of reliable power generation, most of that being coal. So we there's a clear need for American industry to step up and do a whole heck of a lot more so we can win this AI race. When you step back and you look at this demand, we're thinking that there's going to anywhere from 20 to 40% increase in natural gas demand over the upcoming years. It's going to be an incredibly exciting and challenging time. But it's also going to mean there's a lot of opportunities for companies to step up and meet this demand. And I'm very confident we will, as we've done in the past.
So we have to build a lot. That New York number is staggering, actually. That's a really good way to imagine everything that we have to build. But we also have to build it fast. He said that. What does have to, we keep saying this, but what would you point at to say there is something we have to shift? How do we make it faster?
Yeah. So, in the natural gas space, we've been jumping up and down talking about the issues that we struggle with from a regulatory perspective. I mean, it's been almost impossible to get pipeline infrastructure built in this country. The pipeline cancellation movement that started in 2018 has really decimated our ability to get infrastructure built. And you step back and you look over the last, call it 15 years, demand hasn't slowed down. Demand has grown over 50%. The pipeline infrastructure to meet that demand has only grown 25%, and the storage infrastructure has only grown 10%. What that means is we're going to see the lack of pipeline infrastructure that has been built is insufficient to meet market demand. So you're going to see these situations where you have big market dislocations. And one of the most striking things that have emerged is we look at, what's happening in New England. And, a couple of years ago, we used to talk about how Boston, Massachusetts is paying the highest gas prices in the country, despite being right next to one of the biggest gas fields in the world. Well, now that global prices have settled down a little bit, we can say something that's even more remarkable. Boston is going to be paying not only the highest prices in this country, they're going to be paying the highest natural gas prices in the world in this winter. I mean, it's really remarkable things. It speaks to the lack of pipeline infrastructure that's been built. And then you pair in the lack of storage, and that's just going to mean that our storage is insufficient to balance the supply and demand. And that means there's going to be a lot more price volatility. All of these things impact the reliability of our energy. It's why we're spending a lot of time on this. So the key to fixing this problem is this is not a difficult solution. This is to know what we need to do. The answer is simple. It's get more energy infrastructure built, both pipeline infrastructure and storage infrastructure. And to make that happen, we're going to need to see some real market permit reform. The market signals are there. The market is screaming for more reliable energy systems. But we need a regulatory environment that allows us to build this infrastructure. This is something that I'm very optimistic is going to take place. This administration has made a tremendous amount of progress in the last, can you believe it? It's been less than a year. And I
so
think
much longer.
Yeah, it feels like they've got a lot done.
Yeah.
But I think now people are focused on getting permit reform so we can get back to a country where we actually get things built. And, what's really interesting now and one of the reasons why I'm so optimistic is there's two things. We've got tremendous alignment with all forms of energy developers. If you think it's hard to build a pipeline, try building a transmission line. If you think it's hard building a 5-acre oil and gas location, try building a 5,000-acre solar facility or wind farm. So you've got all types of energy developers need reform so that we can get our energy infrastructure built. And then the other big factor that is giving me a lot of confidence that this is going to happen is we've got a catalyst that has emerged over the last few years. And that catalyst is costs for American consumers from energy specifically are up over 35% over the last few years. And I think people are now starting to recognize that this lack of pipeline infrastructure, the lack of energy infrastructure is actually starting to translate to higher energy bills. People in Boston scratching their heads saying, why are my energy bills so high? It's because we don't have enough infrastructure. And so this cost impact is something that I think is a really big catalyst that is going to make consumers ask questions to leaders about why we're blocking infrastructure when we need to be focusing on increasing the reliability of the energy that we consume, and also the cost effectiveness of the energy that we're delivering, because it's unacceptable what's taking place.
especially if it's not necessary and it can be solved.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, you look at where a lot of people shift. I mean, in the East Coast, I talk about this a lot because I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts, and people are just getting smarter about energy, and I think there's just a lot of focus on energy. I mean, in New England, a lot of people are talking about the wind projects. I mean, think about this. This is a part of the country that was expecting we were going to build over 30 gigawatts of offshore wind. Well, I mean, if you ask me, I don't think that's going to be too likely. Um, Nobody has really proposed it. I haven't seen the solutions. Well, what are you going to do? That demand is still there. We need to meet that. And the answer is going to be, practical solutions like natural gas. It's a tremendous opportunity, not only for New England, but for the entire country, so that we can meet the reliability and also the power demands that are really rising across all parts of this country.
Let's look globally for a minute. You mentioned the importance of providing energy security to our allies. It's also really important to think about all the people in the world who don't have any meaningful energy access. You launched Energy Core earlier this year. I remember I was in the front row at Zero Week. So that was in March. Tell us about some highlights and what has happened so far. Where are you now? What's planned next? And also how that fits into maybe the broader EQT picture.
Yeah, we're incredibly excited about Energy Core for exactly what you mentioned. There are billions in this world that live on less electricity than it takes to run a fridge. I think we've seen a tremendous shift in, I think, awareness on this issue, and people coming to our worldview. This is why we started Energy Core. Our worldview is very simple. Energy makes modern world happen. Energy makes the world a better place. We have the data that shows that very clearly. The more energy people use, the wealthier they become. That's our worldview. And we started an Energy Core to really put that worldview out there, but then also put out our world vision. And our vision is a world where, in addition to being concerned about climate, let's be concerned about the people living on this planet. And our vision is simple. Let's eliminate poverty. And we believe that the fastest, most impactful way to eliminate poverty is by giving people access to energy. And when we look at that correlation between energy consumption and wealth creation, if we just said there's a very strong correlation, if we said, what would it take to end energy poverty? Let's try and get the world to a GDP per capita of $50,000. When we look at the amount of energy that would take, it would require about 50 megawatt hours equivalent on a per capita basis. Okay. So for perspective, Americans are closer to 90 megawatt hours equivalent. But if we can get them to 50 megawatt hours equivalent of energy, that would translate to $50,000 GDP per capita. That would eliminate poverty or make a significant progress there. So our vision is simple. We want to move the world towards 50 and 50 megawatt hours equivalent to drive 50,000 GDP per capita. What's really amazing is, as people have looked at their plans to make the world a better place, a lot of that view was expressed through their passion for climate. And one thing that I've learned, Monica, is I've spent a lot of time, as you know, speaking with passionate leaders on the climate side. And one thing I've noticed is that there's a ton of passion for this, but knowledge on actual climate and what is going on in the past and the future and how big of a deal this is a little bit light. Knowledge on energy systems is a little bit light. And to me, it made me think, what's driving this passion? It's not really climate. It's not really energy. It's a passion for helping people. And I think that is a tremendous, one of the greatest things about the energy transition is that's what the energy transition showed me, is that there's people in this world that have a tremendous passion for helping people. like us. Um, and so I think we have a real opportunity as an industry to keep that passion, but focus that towards a much more practical, impactful path, giving people access to energy so that they can, so that we can end human suffering and increase the quality of lives for not just the developed world, but for the billions in the undeveloped world. And that's what Energy Core is designed to do, is to help the world achieve its 50/50 ambitions. So we've made a tremendous amount of progress this last year framing up this issue. We've got some great partners. We've made some grants on people that are actually on the front lines addressing these issues. We've got a partnership with the Bettering Human Lives Foundation. As you know, they're providing propane to eliminate indoor air pollution, which is it's a killer, completely unnecessary. Giving people access to modern fuels. What a great example of how energy can improve quality of life. But we're also doing studies to help. What would it do to, what do we need to do to bring more modern energy solutions? So there's work that we're doing on the policy front in Africa and Asia. We're doing solar powered water pump installations, give people access to clean water. This is not just a hydrocarbon energy solutions that we're looking at. We're looking at all forms of energy solutions. This is all the above, and making sure that we're deploying the best of the above solutions to make the biggest impact we can. So Energy Core is gaining a lot of steam. We're really excited about it. And the only thing I'd say is one thing that's been remarkable. I mean, came out today. We've got some big leaders, very influential people now realizing that a change to our climate approach is necessary. Bill Gates today came out with Gates Notes and said, "Hey, let's take a step back from this climate, and instead let's continue to agree that climate is an issue, but let's focus on ending human suffering." And at the end of it, I think that this has always been the end goal. I think it's been a little bit distracted. But it's great to see people really trying to get to the root of these issues of things we're trying to do. And I think Energy Core, our worldview and our world vision, is what people are coming to. So it's great to see more support on that front.
I love to hear all of those things. And, over the years, we had a lot of these conversations. And I often say that I can't imagine a better industry to work in than energy, because we make people's lives better. We really power the world. And I so enjoy talking with you every time, because your passion shines through and it's every time palpable. And so I can't wait to see what how Energy Core is progressing, and obviously EQT, broadly speaking, as well. Thank you for your leadership in that. We'll continue the discussions at the North American Gas Forum in a few weeks. EQT is a gold sponsor. You're hosting the welcome reception, and you've been a wonderful long-term partner of Energy Dialogues. What are you looking forward to? What is the value you are seeing? Why should people come? And what do you look forward to progressing at the dialogue as well?
Yeah, Monica, what I think you do is so fantastic. I mean, it's energy dialogues. It's what needs to happen. I think we see a lot of policies that get put in place and we're scratching our heads and saying, is this actually going to have the desired impact? And a lot of times, we look at the world we're in right now, where we are producing record amounts of energy in this country, and energy bills are still through the roof. We're producing record amounts of energy, but we still have these reliability issues. Clearly, the policies that have been put in place have not had the desired impact. And one of the reasons for that, I believe, is there's just been a lack of sophistication on understanding how the energy markets and the energy systems are built, how they work, how they're fed. And so the good news is people get more educated about energy through having dialogues about energy. I think it's going to translate to better policy, which is going to allow, the best energy solutions to make its way to the marketplace. It's going to create opportunities for natural gas providers like EQT, but it's also going to provide opportunities for Americans so they can continue to benefit from the lowest energy costs in the world. So they can continue to rely on reliable energy systems. So they continue to have a clean environment. All of these things are only going to happen if people get more educated about energy, and these dialogues are a very important part of this. I cannot overstate the impact of how important your organization is.
Thank you, Toby. Dialogue is important, and then obviously we need to put a lot of things into action and movement. So That's what you guys are there for. Thank you so much for being part of this. Always enjoy our conversations, and we'll see you in a few weeks in DC.
All right. Thanks.